Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful tool you carry with you every single moment of every day, your breath. We'll explore how you can actually use it as a guide to manage anxiety and the very real physical effects of trauma.
So, let's start with a feeling I bet a lot of us know all too well. That tightness in your chest, that feeling that you just can't get a full breath when stress or anxiety hits. It feels like your body's alarm bell is just blaring, right? But what if it's also the key to turning that alarm off?
Okay, so what is actually going on inside our bodies in those moments? Why does our breathing get so weird and uncomfortable when we're under stress? Let's take a closer look.
Well, when we go through something traumatic or just live with chronic anxiety, our body's survival instincts can kind of short-circuit our natural breathing. And this isn't just in your head, it shows up physically. We start taking these shallow little sips of air just into our chest, or we hyperventilate. Some of us even find ourselves holding our breath without realizing it. All of this just amps up the tension and creates this nasty feedback loop that keeps the anxiety going.
But here's what's so cool about this. Even though our breath can signal that we're in distress, it's also the most direct tool we have for managing it. Think of it like a bridge that connects your mind and your body, and you have the power to consciously walk across it to find a calmer state.
So, if the breath is the tool, then what's the practice? Well, this brings us to breathwork. It's an ancient technique that's now being recognized by modern science as a real solution for self-regulation. And believe me, this is not some new trend. It has deep, deep historical roots.
At its core, breathwork is incredibly simple. It's the act of taking something our body does on autopilot, breathing, and turning it into a conscious, intentional tool that we can use for our own well-being. It's really about shifting from being the passenger to being the pilot.
And this practice has such a fascinating history. For centuries, it was a cornerstone of Eastern practices like yoga and meditation. Then, in the 20th century, you had figures like Wim Hof, the Iceman, who brought it to the mainstream in a huge way. And today, modern science is really catching up, recognizing it as a key tool for regulating our nervous system, especially when it comes to trauma recovery.
So the really crucial part is understanding how this actually works, because it's not magic, it's straight-up physiology. Let's get into the science of what's happening inside your body when you consciously change the way you breathe.
And you might be wondering, how can something so simple create such a profound shift? It's a totally fair question. The answer lies in two competing systems that are running your body's internal state all the time. Okay, think of your body like a car. It's got a gas pedal and a brake. The gas pedal is your fight or flight response. That's run by your sympathetic nervous system. Stress and anxiety, they just floor that pedal. But you also have a brake. That's your rest and digest response, your parasympathetic system. And intentional, slow breathing is literally how you consciously apply the brakes. And your secret weapon here is the vagus nerve. Seriously, think of it as a super highway of information running between your brain and all your major organs. Deep, slow breathing is one of the most direct ways to stimulate this nerve, which sends a clear signal right back to your brain that says, hey, it's safe, you can calm down, hit the brakes.
All right, so we have a way to hit the brakes on our stress response. That's the why. The next logical step is learning how to actually do it. So let's explore a really simple but foundational technique.
But before we dive in, let's just remember this super important point. This is not about perfection. There is no right way to do this. It's all about gentle awareness and just listening to what your body needs in the moment. Think of it as an exploration, not a test.
This is the cornerstone of pretty much all effective breath work, diaphragmatic or belly breathing. It's actually the natural way we all breathed when we were babies. It's all about using that big, powerful diaphragm muscle at the base of your lungs instead of the smaller, tighter muscles in your chest and neck to take these deep, full, and really calming breaths.
This is so simple you can try it right now. Just get comfortable, place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. As you inhale slowly through your nose, your goal is to feel your belly expand, like you're filling up a balloon, while your chest stays pretty still. Then, exhale slowly through your mouth. And here's the key. Try to make that exhale just a little bit longer than the inhale. That's the magic button for activating your body's brake.
So, we have the science, and we have a basic technique. What does this all mean for you, and how can you start putting it into practice in your own life?
I think the most empowering realization from all of this is that you don't need a special app, a fancy gadget, or anything outside of yourself to start managing your body's stress response. The tool is already built in,
You just have to learn how to use it on purpose.
And look, this doesn't have to be another huge commitment you add to your already packed to-do list. We're talking 5 to 10 minutes a day of conscious belly breathing. That's really all it takes to begin making real, physiological changes and start rewiring your nervous system for calm. Consistency is so much more important than duration.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. When you change your relationship with your breath, you are taking a powerful, active step toward healing. You're putting control back in your own hands, one conscious breath at a time. So what if that next step forward is really that simple?